What's up, sports fans? Thanks for tuning in and joining. We're going to talk a little NBA today. I know we've been on this college football tip, and we're going to stay on it because it's revving up. It's getting hot, it's getting dirty, it's getting nasty, but we are going to talk a little NBA today. I've been watching OKC, Shea Gildress, and the whole crew, and they look tough. It's early in the season. I get it. Anything can happen. Injuries, fall out of rhythm, fall out of routine. But right now, they look really, really good. I've been watching the Lakers also. And they look really, really good. Of course, the Nuggets are solid, but I'm focusing on the Lakers right now. The question is, do they have what it takes to overtake OKC in the West? Reeves, LeBron, Luka. Yeah, Luka is, first of all, let's focus on Luka. We've seen him put up these numbers before, right? But we haven't really seen him in this type of shape before. I mean, he looks like he's in. I didn't realize he could look like that. I didn't realize he could look like he's in shape. You know, when you normally see him, you just think, well, he's in shape because that's what you normally see. But now that you see him in shape, you're like, man, I didn't realize he could get in shape. Luka's in shape. Now, that doesn't mean that he will be a great defender. It just means that hopefully it will limit injuries, and if he exerts effort on defense, it might make him a half a step quicker. Right? If you're in shape, you can exert a little more effort. Therefore, you might be able to improve your defense a little bit. But I don't think it's going to be a substantial change defensively. And then Reeves is, I call him Baby Pistol Pete. I'm not saying he's Pistol Pete, but he's got a game that's a gunslinger type. You just go back and look at Pistol and look at Reeves. You see a little bit of some similarity there. And of course, there's LeBron. He's pacing himself. Little load management here and there, and in the corner shooting threes. So I'm the type of guy that really likes to look at the details of the matter. Like, anybody can say, hey, they have LeBron, they have Luka, and they have Reeves, so they should be able to compete with OKC. Anybody can say that, right? Because it looks good and it feels good, right? But I like to break it down and try to figure out exactly how would they beat OKC. So I've been looking at the Lakers offense. I want to see how they're getting this done, right? Luka's option 1. It looks like Reeves is option 2. And LeBron seems to be okay with option 3, right? Now, before I go any further, I want to talk about that. LeBron being an option 3 is something to keep an eye on, right? That means he's okay with Reeves and Luka taking the majority of the shots, scoring the majority of the points, and getting the spotlight, right? So, I want to know what LeBron's going to do when they're down 2-1 in a series on the road and they need a victory. Is he going to play third fiddle and let Reeves and Luka run the show? Or is he going to step up? Because it's in his nature, right? Is he going to step up and be alpha dog and try to put his stamp on that game, right? If they have a 4 or 5 game losing streak, they might not, right? But 3 or 4 game losing streak. Is he going to sit back and let Luka and Reeves run the show, or is he going to step up and try to handle it? Because it's in your nature, right? All his life he's been the first option, at worst 1B with Wade or Kyrie or something like that, right? In certain situations, not even the whole game. So is he going to be able to play third fiddle in situations where he's needed or he thinks that he's needed, or things aren't going well, can he sit back and play that role? I'm curious to see how that plays. There's going to be a time when it happens. They're going to be at Denver or somewhere in the playoffs, down 2-1, down 3-1, down 1-0, and the pressure's going to amount to where it's a must-win game, right? So he's got to step up in his mind, or normally in his mind, he steps up and tries to handle the matter. Is he going to be able to sit back and let those other two carry the load? That's what I'm curious to see. Another thing is this. If they are down 3-1, 2-1, 1-0, and he's playing his third fiddle option, right? And if you're the third option, your numbers are a little inconsistent. Sometimes you'll have 15, sometimes you'll have 20, sometimes you might have 8, right? So if they're down 2-1, 3-1, 1-0, and he's averaging 12 points a game, 8 rebounds, is he going to be okay with that? Is he going to be okay with the media hammering him with that? The media knows this is Luka's team and Reeves' team, but they won't care. They won't care. They'll be down 3-1 or lose the series, and LeBron will be averaging 15 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds. The media would eat him alive. They'll eat him alive. The real media and social media. They will eat him alive, and more so social media. Is he going to be okay with that? I mean, he shouldn't care about it, but, people do. So that's what I want to see that scenario take place to see how they function and figure things out if they can. Is he going to be okay playing third fiddle as the season goes on, in crunch time moments, in big time games, in do or die games? Is he going to be able to play third option? Remains to be seen, but we'll figure it's coming. It's going to happen. Now, back to my original thoughts on, can the Lakers beat OKC? I've watched the Lakers offense. I'm thinking JJ, the coach, has another gear. I think there's still more that he's not putting out there, right? What I'm seeing is one time up the court, Luka will bring it up. The next time, Austin will bring it up. LeBron's not bringing it up as much, right? He's starting to play that 2-3 role, right? That two-guard, small forward position, right? He's not bringing it up as much as those two. There are times when I see Luka and Reeves, after they shoot a couple of times, they make sure that they get the ball to LeBron a little bit as well, right? So that's why I'm thinking there's more to the pot that JJ has that he's not bringing out yet. Because right now it's general. It's some pick and roll, high pick and roll. Luka's pulling jumpers. Reeves is pulling off the dribble, and then they get it to LeBron just to make sure that he's taken care of. And he'll either shoot or he'll find the open man. LeBron, he's going to make the right play. So it's early, but that's not going to beat OKC. To beat OKC, well, let me say this. OKC does a great job of taking away your best option, right? So there will be times in that series when they play each other that they are going to do what they can to minimize Luka's shots, right? They're going to double him. They're going to make it look like a double. They're going to make it look like a triple team. They're going to show him all sorts of things. They're going to pick those boys up full court man and make them work the clock, make them spin, turn around while they work it up the floor. In situations like that, you might want Reeves to bring it up the floor a little bit more than Luka, just to relieve some of that pressure off of him. but they're going to try to take one of those guns away, and it's probably going to be Luka. So Reeves, and he's capable, is going to have to step up and carry the load. But what OKC likes to make you do is, if they take Luka away and it's Reeves dominating, they'll be okay with that. They're okay with Reeves being the guy, right? As long as it's not Luka. They're okay with Reeves being the guy. The question is, will Luka be okay with Reeves being the guy? That's the question. I watched OKC play Minnesota the other night, and they doubled Ant-Man, right? And he tried to do the right thing, pass to the open man, pass out of the double team. His teammates tried to step up, and they couldn't. OKC won. Ant-Man came out of there with 14, 15, 20 points. So what do you think Ant-Man's going to do next time? He's going to do the same thing and just I'm going to keep throwing it to the open man, and hopefully they get it done while they're double teaming me? Or is he going to say, bump this, I got to go for mine somehow. I got to figure this thing out. I got to score so we can win. I'm not, if we're going to lose, let me lose scoring 30, going 14 for 40, right? If we're going to lose, let me lose that way. I don't want to lose going 7 for 9 for 15 points. That's the dilemma OKC put you in. That's the dilemma they put you in. So, that's what I'm talking about with Luka. They're going to try to find a way to get the ball out of his hands, and Reeves will try to take over. Will Luka be okay with that? And then where does LeBron play with that? Where does he fit in, right? At least you feel like LA has the weapons to compete. But my point is, they're going to have to run some sets, some offense to beat OKC, to stop them from doubling, to stop them from halfway looking like they're tripling. You got to run some sets. You got to run some plays. That high pick and roll stuff, that's cute. It's a time killer, the filler, time filler. You can do that throughout the game. But when it's crunch time or it's the playoffs, you need to run some plays. Pass the ball, move the ball, get people touches. Make that OKC defense. You got to make that OKC defense move, right? You got to make them move on defense. You can't let them stand still and double and triple you when you're coming off of the high pick and roll. You got to make them move. There has to be threats of backdoor cuts and threats of down screens and pin action. You got to do that to make them be honest on defense. If you can keep them honest on defense with ball movement, you got a shot. You got a chance. So I need to see more of that from the Lakers. It's still early. I think JJ has a bag. I think he's going to pull it out at some point. But that's what has to happen to beat OKC if you're the Lakers or really anybody, right? Ball movement, screens, pin downs, a lot of action. Keep those boys honest on defense because they like to cheat. If you're not moving around on offense, that gives them a chance to cheat and double and look at you and come get you. And they wrote, ball movement. So it's early. That's my quick take on the Lakers right now. They're rolling a little bit, but I'd like to see a little bit more of an offensive set, some plays, things of that nature. But I think JJ will figure that part out. I think. We'll see. But OKC is tough. But that's my NBA take for now. OKC, they're looking good. Lakers, they potentially could do it. And as the season goes on, we'll talk more about it.